Hello, I'm Dr. Angela Hughes, and I'm a veterinarian and a veterinary geneticist. I have spent my 20 plus year career learning about the genetics of our furry companions, particularly dogs. And I will be the first person to tell you that it is incredibly difficult to look at a dog and, based on those visual cues, in many cases for the mixed breeds, the uber mixes, to know what their breed ancestry is. And that's why we need a DNA test like a wisdom panel to really dig deep and understand what a dog's breed ancestry is. However, I have been tasked today with taking a look at a new dog, Toby. I have never met Toby before or seen any of this footage. So we're going to go together on this journey of what it is I look at, how I think about what pieces come together, genetically speaking, to make up Toby. And then I'm going to take some guesses at what I think his DNA is going to reveal, and then we'll find out. So let's do this together. He's got a fairly broad head with a little bit narrower muzzle. This is really kind of the standard shape. If you think about it, more of the ancient shape of a dog head, like what you'd see with a wolf. I'm also noticing a bit of a dish to his face, a little bit of a Roman nose. That's a little bit more uncommon in dogs. We do see it in some horses as well, like the Arab horse. So there are a number of genes that come together to create the head shape and ear shape and size of dogs. We do know that prick or upright ear is a recessive trait. It does take 2 copies of at least one gene. So certainly thinking along the lines of more of those ancestral breeds or even the herding group, because herding dogs really need to be able to hear what their handler is telling them, and very mobile. He can move those around so he can hear really well. He doesn't have a lot of changes in his body shape and size as compared to, say, his wolf ancestors. So I'm still thinking along those lines of those ancient breeds like Siberian Huskies and Alaskan Malamutes and such like that, but also something along the lines of the herding group or a working dog, because they have to have form, follow, function. So now we're going to take a look at his coat, and this is exciting because I really like coat color genetics. What we're seeing with Toby is that not only are we seeing that double coat, so we're seeing the undercoat and the overcoat, but we're also seeing in terms of color that he has what we would consider a mask. So he's got a darker muzzle and darker tipping on the hairs around his ears, a little bit of black coming through in his coat, but primarily focused on the head. Oh, he just caught wind of a squirrel. And he is very excited to see that squirrel. See a little bit more tension in his body, his tail. He's showing us that he is really focused. Certainly the working breeds are going to be keen on finding prey, but I also notice this a lot with the Terrier breeds. So I was just given a little bit of extra information. It sounds like Toby is a non-barker unless there is somebody at the door. There's a possibility of an intruder coming into his home. He is going to protect it and alert to his family to let them know that there's something out there. Okay, so based on everything I've seen, including that last little bit of information, I'm going to change up my results a little bit and say German Shepherd dog, perhaps some Siberian Husky or Alaskan Malamute coming in. Maybe something a little bit more unusual like a Jindo or an Akita or an Klekai, something along those lines. Terrier had been on my list based on what I saw there of how Toby responded to the squirrel. However, the fact that he doesn't bark a lot makes it a little less likely, but I still wouldn't be surprised if there was a little terrier in his breed background. So let's take a look and see what we find out, what the wisdom panel has revealed, and see how close I was and if I even got a single breed right. Let's take a look. His ancestry shows Jindo, Akita, Sharpei, Chow Chow, Kai Ken, Thai Ridgeback. Oh my goodness. So he is very much of the Asian ancestry influence. I was wrong on the German Shepherd. So I was partially right, but my number one guess, which was German Shepherd, clearly was wrong. And that's why we have to really pay attention and dig deep into their DNA to understand what makes them tick. Because a German Shepherd, quite honestly, is going to act quite a bit differently than a Jindo mix would. But German Shepherd would be the one we would honestly default to in many cases because of the mask that we're seeing, which we associate so commonly with the German Shepherd. I'm a little shocked by the results, I have to say. I hope you enjoyed this trip down dog genetics lane with me. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.